Alright, so this is going to be my review of Avengers Endless Wartime, written by Warren Ellis with artwork by Mike McKone and inks done by Jason Keith. Now, let me say this. Warren Ellis is one of my favorite writers of all time. I love Warren Ellis's work. The majority of his stuff is amazing. Having said that, though, well, actually, yeah, I was really excited to get this graphic novel. I actually got it at a discount price for $8 at a Books A Million, and the original price is $25. Is it worth $25? No. In my opinion, no. Should you still get it? Yeah, that's up to you. Because here's the thing, like I said, I am a huge fan of Warren Ellis. I love his Authority run. I love what he does. He did with Wolverine Not Dead Yet, and a few other things. This is... Should you read it? It's worth looking at. First and foremost, I want to bring up, because I never bring up... I know this is unorthodox for me, but I'm going to bring up the introduction by Gregg, which is actually kind of interesting. You get to see what Gregg thinks of what's going on with Marvel now. And it's really cool, because we find out that one of his favorite superheroes is Adam Warlock, and I'm like, really? Okay. And his favorite writer is Jim Starlin, so I'm guessing he's all happy for the new Thanos graphic novel coming soon. Anyway, so the introduction was pretty fun. And getting on to the main story itself, for those who don't know what the main story is, it mostly focuses on Captain America and Thor. There's a little country in the Middle East called Salonia, which, by my count, I thought Salonia got wiped off the map in Kurt Busiek's Ultron Unlimited run. Well, his story arc in his Avengers run, there was a country called Salonia that was just wiped out and conquered by Ultron. Is this the same Salonia? I don't know. Apparently, it's just the Middle East, and there's people fighting, and then suddenly, it's discovered that the U.S. has reused some kind of weird creature. They've basically mind-wiped some creature to use as like a drone type creature in Salonia. And while this is going on, Cap discovers it, and he thinks back to a time in 1944 when the war was still going on, when he remembers a time when in a small island in the Netherlands, I think around Sweden, I believe, yeah, somewhere in the Netherlands, where he kind of failed destroying a base, and it kind of led to the death of several people. This also, the creature itself is something that Thor fought in the past. It was a creature called the Nidhogg. I think that's called I gotta look up the name, because it's this very weird name. The Nidhogg. Yeah, the Nidhogg. That's the best way I can pronounce it. It's some kind of worm-like creature that gnaws on the roots of Yggdrasil, the World Tree. And it one day broke free in Midgard, Earth, and Thor got into a warrior rage and beat it half to death. And Odin kind of kicked him and said, "Hey, that's enough. You're done." And Thor pretty much couldn't find the creature again. So Thor and Cap are kind of thinking, oh, we need to go to this war-torn country, even though the Avengers have no jurisdiction there, and find out for ourselves. Okay, first off, Warren, you're not writing the Authority. Okay, you're writing the Avengers. And that's pretty much what he writes the Avengers as. He pretty much writes them as the Authority, where the Avengers believe they have the authority. See what I did there? And to basically do what they want. If Cap says we got to do something, we're going to do it, regardless of what happens. And Thor is all for it. And pretty much the lineup in here is the movie lineup with Carol Danvers and Wolverine. It's pretty much the movie lineup you saw with Carol and Logan added on there. Is this still good? I like to think so. It's still good, even though I'm giving out some rather negative thoughts here and there. The artwork's pretty good. Mike McKone does a really good job with the artwork. Jason Keith does great with the inks. It's just that the writing, everyone's written as kind of a jerk, and Captain America and Thor are just kind of leading everyone into this horrible tragedy that is going to leave many of them wounded. In fact, there's something that happens with Hulk in here towards the end that even leaves both Bruce and the Hulk mentally devastated. I don't want to spoil what it is, but it's something at the end where I was just like, wow, that hurt. I will say this, though. I think the best written character in here is Black Widow. I kind of want to see Warren Ellis do a Black Widow run, because his Black Widow is awesome. She's very quick-witted, she's very sharp-minded, and really just does not take shit from the other guys. She even gives Wolverine a lot of shit, and that's the thing. Wolverine in here is a total asshole in here, where they just kind of, where he's like, oh, I'm not a good soldier, but I'll do what needs to be done. And yeah, that's Wolverine to a point, but he's kind of changed over the years. And Captain America said, well, the Avengers made you stand for something more than yourself, Logan. Really, the X-Men didn't help in that category at all? I guess it was totally all the Avengers, not the X-Men that he's, mostly known for, right? There's also they make fun of Hawkeye a lot in here. They Warren Ellis apparently has some hate for Hawkeye because all the Avengers give him nothing but shit, just constantly. Like even Captain America calls him a lost cause that is just an example or something along those lines. It's I think also, of course, Iron Man's a very well-written character, and Hulk's pretty good too, but Hulk doesn't really do much in here other than Hulk smash for the most part. Again, I do like this story, but I don't think it's worth nearly $30. I really don't think that. If you can find it like a bargain price, it's much worth it there. If you're a Warren Ellis fan, I'm gonna have to say skip this. I don't know. It's just it didn't click with me. It didn't click with me in the right sense. It did have some good points. There is some great storytelling in here, but I feel like there's too little for too much. That being the price. I mean, I'm all for Marvel doing these graphic novels. I mean, they promote them more than the DC graphic novel. DC does nothing with their graphic novels. I mean, I didn't even know there was apparently Paul Dini wrote a Black Canary and Zatanna graphic novel. No love there. Absolutely no spotlight there. Whereas Marvel loves to promote their graphic novels, which I'm all for. I still want to read Mark Waid and James Robinson's Spider-Man Family Business. That's still on my list. But I talked to Dan, who told me just wait for the price to go down or find it at a bargain. Still good in his opinion, because Dan, Tory GNR1, is my go-to Spider guy. So I still want to read that. But this, as a Warren Ellis fan, I liked it, but I didn't love it. Again, I think it's just Ellis writing the Avengers as the Authority. Where I kind of don't really like that, where they just kind of come off as like these guys, where is they're in other stories where they're close friends. In here, that you just kind of get the sense that they just don't like each other. And the Avengers were always meant to be like a family to me. And in here, it's just kind of like they just put up with each other just to get the job done. That's what it felt like in some points. But yeah, it's still a good story, but again, I wouldn't recommend getting this at full price. I got it for, like I said, $8, and yeah. It's not a bad story, just not one of Ellis's better ones. Anyway, once again, I hope you all enjoyed this, and I'm out.